I have a beautiful stitching diary for somebody to win in a giveaway this episode, so make sure you're watching carefully for the magic word you need to enter. Hello lovely Flosstube friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny, here on YouTube and over on Instagram. It is Sunday the 17th of November and this is my mid-month stitchy update. So it is a normal Flosstube video of my stitchy progress so far in November. However, there are also going to be lots of other stitchy things that I am slotting into this episode to share with you. I feel like I have so much to film today, so I may actually also be filming in two kind of sessions and then have to thread it all together because I'm not sure that I've got enough time to do all the filming right now. I have somebody coming quite soon to come and visit their puppy, so I will see how much I can get done, and I may have to film later, so lighting and things like that may change, we will see. So what do I have to share with you today? Quite a few things. I have a little snippet of the Kingfisher Retreat to share with you. So yesterday I was at the Kingfisher Retreat in Somerset. It is the very first Kingfisher Retreat that has been held. So I will be giving you a few details on that. I will show you the stitchy room. I did not go as a weekend guest, although the retreat was running from the Friday to the Sunday. I literally just went for the Saturday and I took my shop as a vendor. So I won't be able to do the whole showing you around the rooms, telling you about the entirety of the retreat, but I will be able to show you the stitching room, the finishing table, and give you a little bit of information about the Kingfisher Retreat in case it's one that you would like to try in the future. So there will be that. I also picked up some fabric from Aldi, and they are actually tablecloths, but at first glance appear to be made from even weave fabric. If they were even weave fabric, they would be an absolute bargain at $8.99 for 180 centimetre by 130 centimetre piece. So I have tried and tested them. I have test stitched them to see how even the weave is, and I'm going to be sharing that with you to see if we can in fact cross stitch on it. I also have my general stitchy update for you, and I also have a copy of a beautiful, beautiful new released book, which is the Stitchers Almanac 2025, which has been designed by Hayley from the Stitching Cabin. It is a beautiful hardbacked stitch diary, and Hayley has very generously sent me a copy so that I can have a look at it and also share it with you. So that is everything that we have to get through. I'm going to start off with the Kingfisher Retreat, just because I've obviously already taken footage of that, which I will slot in. So let's have a little look at the Kingfisher Retreat. I will give you a little bit of information about it. So the Kingfisher Retreat is held in Somerset. It is arranged by the lovely Annabelle, and they do have a Facebook group. I will link the Facebook group in the sort of show notes, so you can click to expand the notes, and there will be a link there to their Facebook group if you would like to join. The retreat was held at a small hotel called the Walnut Tree. It was, again, much smaller than the hotels that I am used to going to when I've attended other retreats, but it was really lovely. So Annabelle kind of had the idea of creating like a small, cozy, intimate retreat with no more than 30 stitchers, and she definitely achieved that. It was, yeah, a really nice cozy room setup. Definitely one to consider if you are a bit intimidated about the thought of going to your first retreat. It was really an intimate setting, sort of very calm, relaxed. There weren't, you know, loads and loads of people in the room, with them keeping the limit at 30 people. And it was a lovely, lovely event. At least the Saturday part that I attended was lovely. Really nice, loads of varied stitching in the room. I am going to show you the stitchy room on the screen, so you will be able to have a little look. I just panned around, showed you what the setup of the room was like. It was in an upstairs room, however there was a stair lift, so if anyone struggles with stairs, there was a stair lift that people could use to get up to that second level of the hotel. Lunch was included in my Saturday ticket, which was effectively a day ticket, and we just had like a sandwich buffet. I didn't capture photos of the food, but we had a sandwich buffet, and there was also like another option of food alongside the sandwiches, so it was quiche on the day that I attended. I think on previous days, like on the Friday, they had sandwiches and then another offering, but the day that I went, it was a selection of different quiches along with sandwiches and then crisps and fresh salad and a big fruit platter. That was lunch. The room itself was stocked with like tea, coffee, biscuits, those kind of things. Loads of biscuits. There were loads of biscuits. So yes, it all seemed very nice, very lovely. As I mentioned, I took my shop. I had a huge amount of space to spread out all my stock, so my shop has never looked so pretty and well organised. Usually at a retreat, the table space can be quite limited, so whenever I vended before, like it's a struggle to squeeze it all in, but Annabelle gave me so much table space. It was wonderful. Big thank you to any of you ladies that were at the retreat and who shopped with me. Yes, I will show you the finishers table. So yes, there were beautiful, beautiful finishers on the table. Absolutely lovely. So there was the little freebies table with things that people just wanted to find a really good home. There was then also a little de-stash area for things that had prices on them. There was some other lovely little bits on there, like people had made little needle minders. There were some little sort of floss drop sets, and there were also some really super cute Christmas ornaments that someone had made for sale. All really, really lovely little bits. I did have a little look on the de-stash table, but I was very restrained. I didn't bring anything home. And then there were the finishers. So I will let you enjoy looking at all these gorgeous, gorgeous little finishers. I do have to make a mention that when I was looking at these absolutely stunning long dogs, I could not get over the neatness on the back. Amazing, amazing, beautiful, neat stitching. Nothing like my backs. So yes, as I said, I wasn't there for the whole weekend, so I didn't capture a huge amount of footage, which is why it didn't really make sense to do a dedicated Flosstube episode because it would have been extremely short. But that is a little taste of the Kingfisher Retreat. And as I said, if it's one that you're maybe interested in, please go into the show notes. You will find the Facebook group link, and that is where Annabelle posts out all of the information about future retreats. I believe that they are holding them in 2025 and hopefully beyond. So that is where you can find all the information. Next, let's have a look at these Aldi special buy tablecloths. So I noticed in Aldi a few days ago, like late last week, that they had these lovely tablecloths. And they are sparkly, metallic and beautiful. I don't know if I can get close enough with the camera, but they very much look like an even weave fabric. They come in 4 colours. So you've got sparkly grey metallic. This one is my favourite. Gorgeous deep green with a gold metallic shimmer. Oh, absolutely beautiful. The next one is the white with the silver metallic. And the last one, which is the only one that I have unpackaged, is the sparkly red. So as I said, these are big tablecloths that appear to be in an even weave fabric. They are 132 centimetres by 178. And they are 91% cotton, i.e. a cotton even weave fabric, with 9% metallic, which is obviously from the sparkly fibres. So when I spotted these at $8.99 a piece, I was like, wow, that would be an amazing amount of fabric for that price if we can cross stitch on them. I bought one of each thinking, to be honest, they're pretty fabric anyway. So I thought even if they're not stitchable as cross stitch, I could use them as finishing fabrics for the reverse of my cross stitching. For example, if I stitch any little pillows that I want to be Christmassy, I could do this on the back of them, or like any ornaments, I could back them with this, so it won't be wasted. And they're also just really nice tablecloths, so if I end up wanting to throw one of these on my table at Christmas, I could also use them for their intended purpose. So as I said, I picked up one in every colour, sort of buy them when you see them, with them being a special buy. So I've got all the colours. I have tested the red. I am assuming that all of them are going to be the same. So I haven't tested each one, but I have tested the red. So first off, I would say that it is like a lovely fabric. It's nice and soft. And yeah, they are absolutely beautiful. They're reasonably thin, but at the same time not see-through. You know, I've got no board behind this, and yeah, they're not particularly see-through. So yeah, I would be very happy to stitch on this, but I had to check if they are in fact an even weave. I did that by stitching. So I stitched 18 stitches along the top. I basically kept measuring it to see when I hit an inch. So this is me stitching 2 threads over 2 holes, and I got 18 stitches in here before it was an inch. So it is a 36 count this way, 18 stitches to 1 inch stitched over 2. It is a 36 count fabric going this way. I then proceeded to do 18 stitches the other way, and I noticed very quickly that my line of 18 stitches going down was longer. Obviously I got the measure out to measure it, and when you measure an inch this way, the inch ends at 14 stitches, like 14 and a half stitches makes an inch the other way. So what we have here is a woven fabric that is beautiful, but the count is not even. It is 18 count or 36 count going this way, or 18 count if you're stitching over 2, you will get 18 stitches to the inch, and going the other way you will get 14 and a half stitches in each inch, like, yeah, not quite 15 stitches. So yeah, effectively it's sort of like a 29-ish count fabric going the one way, and it's like a 36 count fabric going the other way. So obviously that is disappointing news for those of us that have spotted these and thought we could stitch on them. I wasn't even going to include this on my Flosstube, but I actually saw a post in one of the UK stitchy groups, and I saw that post today and saw that somebody else had actually, it was Jess, who I do know. Hello Jess, if you're watching. Jess had posted about finding these in Aldi and saying to people, you know, I don't know if it's an even weave, but they're worth a punt. And she's absolutely right, they definitely were worth a punt, but I saw how many people had liked that post. So I thought, because I have tried and tested them, I would let you all know, if you were thinking of buying these, that they are in fact, unfortunately, not an even weave. However, that does not necessarily mean that we can't stitch on them. So what it does mean is that if you are trying to stitch anything that is a very square design or circular, that instead of a square, you're going to end up with a rectangle, or you are going to end up with an oval instead of a circle. It's not necessarily the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that there aren't things you can find to stitch on them. So previously I bought some metallic even weave or Ada fabric that was being sold as cross-stitch fabric. I've mentioned it in my videos way back, but I bought it as a cross-stitch fabric, so it should be an even weave. It isn't, and I stitched a couple of things on it before I realised that it wasn't even weave. However, the things that I did stitch on it still turned out lovely. I will try and find a photo, but on that fabric I did stitch a little birthday gift for a friend, and it was a rabbit inside like a circular stitched frame, and it did turn out that it was oval instead of circular. So I knew that it was wrong, but the recipient didn't know that it was wrong, and it was still a beautiful piece. My alphabet and my whimsical alphabet, I'm also stitching on the same fabric, knowing that it is not an even weave. So yes, for the price of this fabric, for £9 for how much of it you are getting, it is not stitchable for everything, but you definitely can stitch on it, and I very well may stitch on it because the green, especially the green with the gold, I just absolutely love and think this is so Christmassy, and I could do so many pretty things with this. What you just need to be mindful of if you do decide to stitch on this is that you need to pick things that are small. The bigger the design is, the more obvious it will be that you're stitching on an uneven count. But if you are doing something like very small Christmas ornaments where the designs are small, say you were stitching a little penguin or a little polar bear, yeah, do you know, small things, and the key thing is things that are not completely square. You know, if you're stitching a little animal, it's not a square, it's not a circle. Nobody's going to really know except you that the weave is not perfect, because, you know, all it will mean is that depending on which way you orientate your fabric, if you're like stitching a little reindeer, either your reindeer will be a bit skinnier and taller than it actually looks when it's stitched on proper even weave fabric, or it will be shorter and fatter if you stitch it the other way on this fabric. But it doesn't mean that it won't still look like a reindeer. It absolutely will. It just won't be perfect. However, when people are just looking at it as a finished stitched piece, what I'm saying is if it's small little motifs, people are not going to know. And that is why I was happy to stitch my whimsical alphabet sampler on a piece of fabric that I knew wasn't even, because every little individual character, when you actually look at them, you can't tell that I've stitched it on what is essentially like an imperfect fabric that isn't even both ways. You can't tell. So yes, if you were wanting to give a go to stitching on this, absolutely go and buy one. They are beautiful colours. Try it out. Just be mindful of the designs that you pick to put on it. So that is my little public service announcement to all of you that were getting excited about these. There we go. The next thing I wanted to do is just give a really quick thank you so that I don't forget it at the end. I want to say thank you to everybody that has bought tickets for my raffle. So in my last normal Flosstube episode, I did announce that I was doing a big stitchy raffle to try and raise money for my kids' school. I won't give you all the details again. If you're interested, go back to episode 60. If you've not seen it already, all the info is in my Flosstube number 60. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to those of you that have bought tickets. I am so very grateful and really excited that it has had a really positive response. I'm really excited to do the draw and actually announce the prize winners, which I will be doing on the 1st of December. Daisy and Hadley are excited to help me. They are going to be drawing the tickets. Yes, super grateful to those of you that have entered, and if you haven't entered or you missed my Flosstube episode 60, I have some really lovely prizes for you to win. Big bundles with lots of things in from my website. Well worth entering and being in with a chance to win. So if you haven't entered yet, there is still time. Entries do not close until the last day of November. So please, if you haven't got a ticket and you did want to grab one, go and get one. done before the end of this month. So let's do the normal part of my Flosstube next, the actual stitchy part of what I have been up to in November so far. I have worked on 3 projects. One is a finish and 2 of them are whips. I was struggling for the word. 2 of them are ongoing whips. One is a finish. And this is my finish. So I decided to stitch the fundraiser pattern that I released as part of the raffle. So the way that you buy a raffle ticket is to buy this pattern. So quite a few of you have bought this to enter the raffle, and I thought you might like to see it stitched and finished. So this is Grow in Love and Faith chart. I have completed the stitching. I stitched this with DMC, just on a fabric scrap. I'm not even sure what count I've ended up doing it on. It's either a 28 or a 32 count, I think. But just like a very pale neutral. And that is my stitching. It is that time of year where I'm constantly getting shadows when I put my stitching too close to the camera, because I'm doing everything these sort of darker evenings that are coming. I'm doing everything under artificial light. It is annoying. But yes, that is my little stitch small, which I think would look really cute, like finished as a pillow. I've seen quite a few people on Instagram who have tagged me that have actually started to stitch it. So obviously that is wonderful and made me really smile to see that people that have entered the raffle, quite a few of you have actually not only bought the pattern just to enter the raffle, but have actually liked it enough to start stitching it yourselves. Yes, please keep tagging me when they are finishers. I would love to see yours. So that is my finish. The next pattern that I have been working on is my Letty Tiger. So this is my Curious Tiger by Letistitch. It is a kit and it is stitched on 16 count, sort of easy gridded Ada. But the grid is very light. It's not the typical like dark blue or anything grid, like it's a very light grid. I have made some nice progress on this. So the last time you saw it, I was doing well, but I've added a little bit more. Hopefully you can see a bit of a difference. This is what we are currently looking like. I am just chipping away, just keep adding a few strands here and there. And since you last saw this, if I consult my little notebook, since you last saw this, I have done 4.5 hours of stitching on this, and it is a whip go goal. 5 hours on something full coverage. That is a carried whip go goal from last month that I did not get around to completing. I've done 4.5 hours, so I'm now only half an hour away from having this ticked off on my whip go. Speaking of whip go, because I may as well tell you while my notes are in front of me. So yes, I'm using this project for my 5-hour full coverage goal that was carried from a previous month. I had 2 goals to FFO something, and in my video for the Flosstubers retreat, I did actually show my fully finished object of my little chicken joy that I finished for Sarah as her Christmas ornament gift from myself. I'll pop a picture of it on the screen for you super quickly in case you haven't watched my Flosstubers retreat video. So this is my whip go goal ticked off for FFOing something. It is my little chicken joy. I finished it by backing the chicken onto some foam, and then I backed another piece of larger foam with the nice fabric with the stars on it. And this is backed with felt. It's got felt on the back just to keep everything tidy at the back, and a little gold loop hanger. So yes, really enjoyed finishing making that for Sarah, and I also ticked off 1 FFO. So as it stands for whip go, I was carrying 2 goals to FFO something. I've now done 1 because my chicken is done. I'm half an hour away from completing my full coverage goal, which was also carried. So I'm currently carrying 1 additional goal of another full finish. I need to fully finish another object, and I really want to fully finish my Snow Maiden by Mirabilia because she's finished and I have the frame for her. I just need to find the time to actually frame her. So I'm very much hoping that you will see her fully finished in December. For my other Whip Go goals that are actually for November, so the goals that were actually called in this month, I've got 5 hours on an animal whip and 5 hours on something seasonal. So my next whip that I have been working on is what I picked for the something seasonal goal. Not sure how long I've stitched on it so far, not very long. Maybe like an hour, so I've still probably got like about 4 hours left to do on this, but this is my Winter Woods. Absolutely gorgeous piece. I originally started this with Rosie from Rosie X Stitches, and Rosie has finished it and put it on her Instagram as a finish, which really gave me a kick to think, right, I need to get mine out, because I can't believe how I have fallen behind when we started it at the same time. So yes, this is Winter Woods. The designer has gone from my head, and I know who I think it is, but I don't want to make a mistake. So let's really quickly look it up in my notebook so I'm not giving you the wrong information. It just took me so long to find it in my book that I've edited, because you didn't need to see me fumbling around to find the notes. So yes, it is by Satsuma Street, which is the designer that I wanted to say, but I just wanted to doubly make sure I hadn't got that wrong in my mind. So this is Winter Woods by Satsuma Street. I actually started this at the very beginning of the year, because I've got my notes in front of me. I can see that I started this on the 15th of January 2024. It would be really nice to have it finished within the same year. And I am stitching it with Royal Broidery on, what am I, I've closed my book, silly Lauren. What am I stitching it on? That is a good point. I am stitching this on 32 count hand dyed even weave. Okay, so here is the stitching. This is how far I have got. So this box was already complete the last time you saw it, and I had made a start on this, but I have now actually finished this little block with the toadstools. I cannot get any closer to show you the stitching, otherwise we're going to get those horrible shadows. But yes, this is the toadstool block that I've now finished, and obviously that is like half a box. I've got the other half to do underneath to make it a complete box, and then I've just got 2 more sections to go. If you would like to see this finished in all its glory, go and have a look at Rosie's Instagram. Hers is absolutely beautiful, and yes, it's really spurred me on to dig mine out, and it aligns perfectly with my Whip Go goals, being that I need to stitch on something seasonal. We are going into winter. This is very seasonally appropriate. So yes, I'm hoping that before the end of this month I will get another 4 hours into this, and it will be looking even closer to a finish, and I can tick that off my Whip Go. My last Whip Go goal for November that I've not actually made a start on yet is the animal one that I mentioned, and I do need to pick something to work on for 5 hours that is an animal whip. Both of those whips that I've just shown you do have animals on them. The Winter Woods one has an animal in every box, and obviously the tiger full coverage is an animal. So I will see how I feel, but I could just push on with one of those whips for an additional 5 hours and use that as my animal goal. But I might switch out for something else. We will see. I'm still trying to be very good and not have too many new starts. So that is all of my stitching. Although I'm trying not to have too many new starts, I have got one planned new start, and I'm already behind on it because it is a sal. I decided to join in with the Bella Sirens sal, so the Bella Filipina and Black Siren sal. A little bit sort of spooky, mermaidy. Very excited about it, could not resist. I haven't started yet, but I thought I would just show you because I have kitted it. So I've got this lovely piece of hand-dyed fabric. I didn't want to do anything too dark. All the colours are quite dark and moody. And I thought that this would be lovely. So this is just a hand dye from my own Stitch Bunny shop. I did have to dye a specially large piece because you needed a 70 by 70 centimetre piece of fabric to do this design. I dyed 2 of them, very similar in this same colourway, and then picked the one that I wanted to use. I really struggled to pick between the 2, and I ended up getting Adam to pick, and he picked this one, and I do have one other. I don't know which way I'm going to put the fabric yet, but yeah, I think I'll do it with like the dark blue at the bottom, the darker blue. The camera, and I've got the big overhead light on, is sort of bleaching this out a bit. It is darker than it appears on the camera, but again, still not too dark because I didn't want all my very dark and moody ladies to get lost on it. And so yes, that is a planned new start. Part 1, which was the treasure chest, has already been released a little while ago, and I have had part 2 come into my inbox. These are my threads, which are all royal embroidery, and you can see I have not bobbinated them yet. I'll take them out of the bag to limit the glare. But yes, you can see some wonderful colours, but none of them are particularly bright. There's quite a lot of greens, like dark blues, dark blues, greens, greys. So yes, I'm hoping that they will stand out on my fabric. It's always really difficult, I think, to pick fabric for a mystery sale where you don't have the overall design. But if I put them all against my fabric, I do think that they all stand out quite well. I just need to get bobbinating these and then get round to actually starting. I actually want to do it as part of the sale and not fall behind. So yes, although I'm trying not to have too many new starts, this one is going to get added into the mix fairly soon. I'm being summoned. Can you hear my children? I can. The last thing I wanted to share with you today, I don't have any haul. There is no haul to share. However, I have received something beautiful to show you. So this is a beautiful stitching diary for 2025. It is designed by Hayley from the Stitching Cabin. I'm sure many of you do follow Hayley on Instagram. She also has her Flosstube. And this is the book. It is absolutely stunning. So we've got the Stitching Cabin at the top. And then all this beautiful cover art. So this is the 2025 Stitchers Almanac. Absolutely gorgeous. It is a nice hard-backed diary. And then when you go inside it, you've got the lovely sort of intro page here, just with the dating, beautiful table of contents. I'm going to come on this side of the camera because that will make it easy for me. You've got the beautiful table of contents here. So the book is basically split into like monthly logs. So you've got a log for every month of the year, but there's also a stitching goals, a monthly goals, an annual tracking page, year at a glance, project report, whip roll call, new start to register, accomplishments and finishers, a wish list area, a waiting in the wings section, and then it's got loads of other bits in it like annotations, ledgers, 2026 plans for planning going forward. It's got a page of definitions in the book for loads of different terms and terminology. It is just wonderful. So you've got Hayley's lovely introduction here, which I'm not going to read in full, but there is a beautiful intro page here. And then we've got like a definitions page here with all various definitions in it. But the bit that you all want to see is the layout of the logging pages, and they are beautiful. So if I show you January here, you can see you've got the full month view over your 2-page spread. There is some lovely sort of pictures on the page, nice artwork. And this is all ready for January stitching to be logged. And behind that page, you've then got a blank double page for January notes as well. And if I get close to the camera, you can see that it is just sort of like graph paper, but it's not squares, it's just little dots. So you can, use these pages for so many things. If you're trying to write neatly in lines, you will be able to follow the dots as a guide, but you could also use this even for like charting and planning your own little smalls and things like that. Like you could even design little charts on this, the way that the paper is, because it's essentially all little squares. We've then got like the February, which is obviously a repeat, but different lovely little pictures. And again, my camera battery ran out. Of course it did. So I was just showing you the logging pages, and like I said, every month is on a double page spread with lovely imagery. And Hayley's like quite mindful of like the months when she chooses the imagery. There's like a lot of like obviously stitching and sewing related imagery, but also some nice like seasonal imagery. And once we get past all of the log pages, which are duplicated for each month, there's then a lovely double spread for stitching goals. So you've got your stitching goals pages. You've then got monthly goals. So they are laid out for every month into quarters 1, 2, 3 and 4. Following on from that, you have this lovely double spread annual tracker page. Really useful. And then I love this, the year at a glance pages are here. So these would be particularly useful for actually planning, like planning ahead of the months. Progress report. So this is a lovely double spread page for you to track all of your WIP progress. Really nice. So yeah, you're not going to run out of space here. There are so many lines for you to fill in. And you can sort of count your project down to 100%, which I think is quite lovely. So you can write the name of the WIP, and then you can sort of tick or fill in a box, tick it off or colour it in, right up to 100%, and then there is a tick box at the end for when you FFO something. So yeah, I really like this page, and I don't think any of us finish this many projects in a year, so I'm pretty confident that you would not run out of space. If I filled in this with that many finishes over the course of the year, I would be so made up and pleased with myself. Next, we've got the WIP roll call pages, which are again lovely for you just taking notes. And there's, you know, several pages of that. There is the new starts register here. So new starts register with a box for every month of the year. The wish list pages, so this is a lovely idea. Got here the wish list for everything that you want to buy but don't have yet. And then we have got waiting in the wings, so perhaps these pages are useful to use for things that are kitted, maybe like kitted and ready to go but not yet started. And then you have all these pages just for various notes at the end, which really are very adaptable. So there's 2 pages here that are again on that same sort of dotted grid. Following that, you have got your ledger pages. I'm not sure that I would use the ledger pages because I don't really like keeping track of how much I've spent on my stitchy stuff, but for those of you that do, there are ledger pages. You've then got your annotations pages, lots of space there for all your notes. And then after all of those sections are finished, all the remaining pages are literally just notes pages, all with the same sort of dotted paper layout. So you have quite a number of pages at the end that are just for your own use, not labelled for anything particular. And then you've got the beautiful hardback back as well as the cover. This is a lovely book, a really lovely book. Thank you, Hayley, so much for my copy. I absolutely love it. It is beautiful. The one slight hitch for myself, which I did discuss with Hayley before she sent this to me, is that I started a 5-year stitching diary, which I think I began it in 2021. So 21, 22, 23, 24, I've still got 1 year left to fill in. And I don't think that I can switch to a different book. So I'd said to Hayley, if this was dated for next year, I would absolutely use it because it is stunning. It's much nicer than the book that I currently use. But because I cannot possibly fill 4 years into one diary and leave the last year blank, I will be doing a giveaway on my Flosstube for this book within the UK. This will be a UK giveaway. You know, it's quite a substantial little thing, Yeah, it is beautiful, nice hardback, and you guys can have the chance to win this in time for next year. I am going to do the giveaway for this with a special word that you will just need to comment below, and that word is, what's the word going to be? Cabin, because this diary is by Hayley and her brand name is Stitching Cabin. So if you would like me to post this to you, please be in the UK for this particular giveaway. I do really try to make most of the things that I give away be all inclusive anywhere in the world, but this is quite a heavy little thing, and I would like to send this to a UK winner just because of the postage implications. So if you are in the UK and you would love to get all organised and plan your 2025 stitching out beautifully in this beautiful book, enter with the word cabin. Write me a comment. Use the word cabin. You can just write cabin, or you can write something a bit more creative, but cabin is the search word that I will search for to randomly pick a winner. And I will do the draw for this again in my 1st of December episode. So we will draw the raffle for the school fundraiser, and we will also draw this giveaway winner at the same time so that I can get everybody their stuff before Christmas. So there we go. Thank you again, Hayley. It is absolutely beautiful. Yes, if you just want to go ahead and buy yourself a copy because it is a wonderful book, I will also put a link below as to where you can find it, as in the show notes. So just open the show notes and the information will be there. I will also put a link to Hayley's Instagram. That is everything from me today, and I managed to fit it all in. So I was so worried at the beginning of this video that I would have to split the filming over 2 sessions, but we have managed to squeeze it all in. I'm not sure when it will get edited and uploaded, hopefully later today if I've got chance. I am really looking forward to seeing you all again on the 1st of December to let you know what else I've managed to get done stitchy-wise in the last couple of weeks of this month, and also to pick those winners out of the draw. Daisy and Hadley cannot wait. They are so excited to pull the tickets out of the box, so please, if you've not got your ticket already, go and grab one. Again, if you want to know what the prizes are and you are in the dark, go and look at my Flosstube episode 60. You will find all the information on the prize bundles. Take care, everyone. I hope you get a lovely couple of weeks of stitching before I see you again. Happy stitching. Bye.